What's up, y'all? I told y'all I'd be back. Yeah, I'm glad a couple of people liked the last video I posted about if I should make this video or not with Laila Ali and Claressa Shields. Let me tell you, I did some research, listened to a few interviews from both sides, from both point of views, and let me tell you, it's very intense. It's a very intense situation. It really is. And you got to pay close attention to what I'm going to say, because if you really not listening, it's going to fly right over your head. Yeah, we're going to talk about the Laila Ali and Claressa Shields situation. Now, I'm going to say this before I talk about how the disagreements and the beef started. Remember this. Laila and Claressa, they met back in 2012 when Claressa reached out to Laila for advice on boxing. Laila was more like a mentor to Claressa at that time. So they had already knew each other for a while. Okay, that's cool. You looked up to Laila. You trying to get good advice from someone who's paved the way already. Now she's retired. Don't forget that. So as I look at interviews, I started off with Claressa's interviews first to kind of get a feel of where she's coming from with Laila. And I'm not going to lie, from my point of view, from looking at the interviews and listening to what she's saying, they started off pretty good. You know, I didn't see any issue with them. But then when you look at other different interviews, you start to hear different wordings. It goes from, her and Laila are good. She could really learn a lot from Laila. And then as time go on, you can kind of, hear her just not saying those same type of words anymore. Just, I don't know. It's kind of, to me, it was kind of like almost, she wants Laila to, I don't know, step out of character and be aggressive and, just go at her. But, I don't see Laila doing that. And it just really was a change from the different type of interviews that Claressa had. It just started off real good. And then as time went on, she was just saying different things about Laila. But really, how this situation really got out of hand was when Claressa allegedly offered Laila $15 million to fight her. And Laila's response was she would answer when she's ready and on her own terms. Nobody can force her to fight. I hear you. And Claressa just was not feeling that response. She felt some kind of way about that. Claressa had felt that Laila had taken her own advice and turned it into a malicious attack on her character, and that her public response was a way to highlight her own value and build her legacy. No, I personally don't think that that's what she meant. I don't know how this response even would connect to what Laila was trying to say. I felt like with Laila's response, it was thorough and it was straight to the point. And like I've said in many videos in different situations, some people, a lot of people in this world, do not like when you can control what you want to do, when you want to do it, and you basically tell that other person, okay, you offered the money, but that don't mean I'm a jump. I'm a jump when I feel like it. And, some people just don't like the straightforward responses and as well have control over what they're saying. Some people do or may feel some type of way. But I honestly don't feel like This was a malicious attack. This was intended to be or do someone harm. No, I don't feel like that at all. I feel like Laila just basically told Claressa what it was or how she felt. Look, when I want to fight, I'll get in contact with you. We'll set something up. But until then, I'm all right. That's basically what I got out of that. But I definitely didn't get that Laila was giving a malicious attack to Claressa. And I definitely don't believe that it was a way to highlight her own value and build her legacy. She don't have to build a legacy. She already has one. She already has her legacy / era that she was in, where she showed her talents, as well as Claressa showing her talents in her era, which is now. So I don't know. I feel like Claressa's response and how she felt, well, she does have a right to feel the way she want to feel, but just responding to how she felt about the situation, I just really do think it was, going too far. Looking at it way out of pocket, basically taking it wrong. She took it wrong. And then it shifted Claressa's mindset to something negative toward Laila. And that's how I look at it. From listening to everything that Claressa has said in these interviews, it was a big change. It started off good, and then you could slowly hear the disagreements that they had toward each other. And allegedly, Laila being upset when Claressa allegedly was praising her father, Muhammad Ali, but disrespecting Laila's legacy, Laila won't feel in that part, allegedly. She basically looking at it like, how you gonna praise my father, but you disrespected me? And I think when I saw that and read that, I'm like, okay, I see where she coming from. That is very disrespectful. How could you, like, at one point in time, you was coming to this woman about advice about boxing, and then next thing you know, you saying stuff that feels disrespectful to the other person. Like, I don't get it. How you go from that and y'all supposed to be good? How can you want to get advice from someone and then turn around and, be like, man, or act like you ain't pressed about them, or, how can you do that? So that's how Laila, looked at it. And I can see that was a sensitive spot too, because we all know Muhammad. We know his legacy in his era. We know. So I can see that being a sensitive part for Laila. And that's something, you ain't going to forget either. So it's kind of like, looking at it like, I don't even know if I could ever trust you again. We'll probably squash the feud, but we don't know how Laila ever look at Claressa again after that, allegedly, if she, was doing that, praising Laila's father, but trying to play Laila still. That's crazy. Yeah. But yeah, this is why I said that their situation was very intense. And I ain't gonna lie. For the culture, for the boxing culture, I wouldn't mind Laila stepping out of retirement and she get in the ring with Claressa. That'd be great for the boxing culture, for the female boxing culture, for the boxing culture in general. If you look at boxing as a sport, That'd be great for the culture. But I really don't know how this gonna play out. Yeah, I don't know how that's gonna play out. But that'd be a good event to either go to or sit at home and watch for female boxing. If Laila step out of retirement to fight Claressa Shields, that's going to be magnificent for the boxing culture. For the fans. Yeah, we done all seen the men boxing. We seen it. But if they fight, that whole ring gonna be packed. Sold out. But I don't know if she gonna step out of retirement to fight, you know. But hopefully there will be a response confirmed if Laila gonna fight Claressa or not. But I'm telling you, if they do, it's gonna be a good fight. So, you know, allegedly after Claressa, you know, praising Muhammad Ali but disrespecting Laila, I don't even know how that's gonna play out. That's why I say it's a lot of tension right up in there. If you pay attention, they started off good, but really I don't even see the animosity in Laila. I think it's more the aggressiveness and on more Claressa side than Laila. I feel like Claressa is just taking things way out of line. Cause it ain't like, you know what I'm saying, Laila being aggressive and just going all out trying to cause a scene. It ain't nothing like that. But I do acknowledge, and I did acknowledge, that Laila will break it down to you in the most sophisticated way possible to where you know, okay, this is how it's going to be for me, you know. She's going to let you know, and she's going to be very thorough what she's saying. I do get that from her. And, you know, I just don't see how Claressa just felt some type of way by Laila being honest, unless Laila response, how she said it was just real nasty. And I just don't see that. I don't see that at all. I don't see that at all, of Laila being disrespectful to Claressa. You know. But, you guys, that's how the beef started. And we gonna see. Shoot, the only update I want to know about is if Laila gonna step out of retirement to fight Claressa. That's all I want to know. You know, will they friendship be the same? I don't think so. Because once you burn that bridge of trying to disrespect somebody, but then you try to come back and be good with them, it's just not going to be the same. Yeah, people will forgive you, but they ain't going to forget. So I don't know how their friendship would be after this little situation here. But 15, maybe 20 million allegedly, that's what's being offered for Laila to step out of retirement. Shh. Man, I'm already hyped. I'm just hyped now just talking about it, because I know, it's going to be a good fight to see, But we'll see. It might be a part 2. All depends on, the updates of what's going on. But so far, I really do think Claressa should reevaluate her mindset on things. I don't see Laila Ali being a threat. If anything, like how she was doing years on and off, she was giving Claressa good advice on boxing. So I can't see nothing else but other than that. And that's really all I saw. I have not seen anything on Laila being real nasty or being aggressive. But that response was all she needed to say. I mean, that was her response. It was, like I said, it was very thorough. And some people just don't like thorough. They take it to a whole nother level, like, oh, you trying to fight with me. That's how people, may look at it. And it may not even mean that. It's just that person being truthful on what they mean, and that's that. But guys, thank you for my subscribers. I believe I got 507 subscribers. Yay! Let's keep it going. Y'all know I had to come out with this Laila Ali and Claressa Shields situation. Crazy, isn't it? Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new. If you already subscribed, like the videos, share. Y'all know what to do. Peace.